I was 49, coming up to my 50th birthday. When you turn 50 in Scotland, they actually test you. You get a wee kit sent through your door and they test you. I had done the test, sent it away, and it came back positive and asked me to redo it. So I had done it again, sent it to them, and I went on holiday. And when I come back, I'd been fast-tracked up to get the scope. After the scope, I knew there was something wrong. Then the nurse told me that they'd found a tumour and it was bowel cancer. And then I had to have a CT scan to see if it spread or not. And then I got my results and they said it hadn't spread, which was best news. So then we decided to, get surgery. It was rough for a few days. I was very sickly, a bit of pain, but I was just glad to get it over with and get the cancer removed, the tumour removed. And after a few weeks, I felt really well again. I was getting back to normal. But the pathology had come back and said that I had stage 2, and it was advised that I should have some chemotherapy as a sort of belt and braces treatment, just to make sure that they had removed all the cancer. So I was advised to start on a drug called capecitabine, which I had never heard of before, and I was told I would get it in tablet form and I would take it at home. I wouldn't need to go to the hospital. So I was fine with that. I thought I could manage that. And I started taking my tablets, and the first week I was fine. And then into the second week I started to feel a bit unwell, but I didn't really chalk it up to anything because I just thought, well, I'm on chemotherapy. You're not expected to feel 100%. I thought I had a urine infection, so I had phoned the hospital and they'd advised me to go up, and they checked my bloods and my bloods come back fine, and they gave me antibiotics and sent me back home. I could hardly step out the bed. Felt so sick, just felt really ill, shivery. And then I was vomiting. I was, couldn't eat, couldn't even drink. So I couldn't take the chemotherapy tablets, which was probably a good thing in the end. I just get more ill. The diarrhoea was unbelievable. And that went on for about 3 days. And I just kept thinking, I never even phoned the hospital or thing. And then one day I woke up. It wasn't even due. I woke up in the night and I was in a lot of pain. It was like spasms. And the diarrhoea was, I knew it wasn't a normal diarrhoea. It was just, I just knew I wasn't right. And I woke my husband. So she needs to take me to hospital. And he took me to hospital, and they put me in a wee room with isolation because they thought I'd C. diff. And after a few days in hospital, I was getting a lot worse. And they gave me a CT scan, and the surgical team said it's nothing to do with everything was fine, surgical wise. And I just knew, and I didn't feel, I know it sounds terrible, I didn't feel as if I was getting the care that I expected. They knew that I was on, it was my first cycle. They never even said it was anything to do with the chemotherapy tablets. I decided to leave the hospital because I didn't feel as if they were helping me. I planned to go to the hospital. They'd done my surgery. I had to go to A&E, and I sat in A&E, but as soon as I went in to see someone, before I know it, I had all these doctors and nurses around about me because I was really, really ill. And they still thought I'd C. diff though. So they sent for tests for C. diff, but I actually had neutropenia. And I also had sepsis. So I was immediately put on to 2 different antibiotics and moved up to an isolation ward. And after about 5 days, I started to get my strength up again, and I could start to eat a little. And eventually I got home. After I left the hospital and I got home, I still didn't feel well. I still felt really ill, but not as bad as what I had been, but I still felt ill. And I had to go and see the oncology team, and they done my bloods, and it ended up I had kidney damage. So I had to get admitted back to hospital again. And I was in hospital till they got my kidneys working again, because they weren't sure if they're good or not. Got my kidneys working again. I was released from hospital. I had to go back to see oncology, but by that time I decided I wasn't taking any more chemotherapy. I seen my oncologist registrar, and he was the first person to mention to me that I might have DPYD deficiency, enzyme deficiency. He said it's very rare, and he would get me tested for it. So I was arranged to get a blood test done, which I did. And after 2 weeks, it came back and confirmed that I did have a partial DPYD, and that has what caused me to have the really bad reaction to it. My aim now is for oncologists to make people aware that there is people that can't take this medication unless they've had the test, and there's it's just a blood test, and I can't believe they aren't giving people this blood test that can save their life. You go through all the trauma of having cancer, having your cancer tumour removed, the surgical team do all their work, then the chemo team move in. It's as if they're missing out a middle section of it. They're just automatically putting you onto chemotherapy without checking if your body's able to take this medication. They should be testing people before they give them these really, really strong medications and not taking the chance.